Here in this lesson, we're going to talk about adding mixed numbers. So let's go over the objectives. So what we're going to do is learn how to add whole numbers of the mixed numbers, then add the fractions together once a common denominator has been sought, and write your answer in simplest form. So let's go ahead and begin. So here we have the mixed numbers 4 and 4/7 plus 3 and 4 over 21. So we actually have to take a look at the whole numbers. We have the whole numbers 4 and 3, right? So let's actually go ahead and rewrite this so that way I'm not marking up the original problem here. So 4 and 4/7 plus 3 and 4 over 21. So what we're going to do is move these numbers out of the way. We're going to do that by adding them together, and that gives us 7. Okay, so now we do not have to worry about the 4 and the 3. Okay, next thing we need to do is add the fractions together. And remember, anytime you're adding fractions, you have to have a common denominator. So let's actually bring down this 4/7. So we have 4/7 plus, bring down the 4 over 21. So we can actually see that 7 divides evenly into 21. So that means 7 can be turned into 21 by multiplying by 3. So we multiply in the denominator as well as in the numerator. So if you take a look, we have a common denominator of 21, so we can continue adding across the numerators. Okay, so let's bring that down. 3 times 4 is 12, and then we have plus 4. Okay, and 12 plus 4 is 16, so that's 16 over 21. So we're still not finished. We still have this whole number of 7. So we have to attach this fraction to the whole number of 7. And so therefore the answer is 7. 7, and I wrote that up too high. So 7 and 16 over 21. Okay, and let's go ahead and solve the next problem. So again, I'm going to rewrite this so I'm not marking up the original problem here. So we have 3 and 1/4 plus 2 and 5/9. Again, we're going to get rid of the whole numbers by adding them together. So we have the 3 and we have the 2, which is equal to 5. Okay, so now we're going to work with the fractions. So we have 1/4. We're going to bring that down. We're going to bring down the 5/9. Okay, so we have 1/4 plus 5/9. So the next thing we need to do is add the fractions. However, we need to find a common denominator. So if you take a look at the denominators, we can actually multiply 4 and 9 together, which gives us 36. So we need to turn this 9 into 36 and this 4 into 36. So we can actually multiply this 9 by 4. And whatever you do in the denominator, you must also do in the numerator. Keep that in mind. And then we can turn this 4 into 36 by multiplying by 9. So now we have a common denominator of 36. And then we can work with the numerators. We have 9 times 1, which is 9, plus 5 times 4, which is 20. So our answer here is 29 over 36. But the final answer is 5 and 29 over 36. And there isn't any other simplification to be done. Okay, so let's go over a couple more examples. So we have 3 3/10 plus 4 1/6. So let's go ahead and rewrite it. 3 3/10 plus 4 1/6. Taking a look at the whole numbers again, we have the 3 and we have the 4 that can be added together. That gives us 7. So now we can actually bring down the fractions. 3/10 plus 1/6. So again, looking at the denominators, you can actually almost tell that the common denominator is 30. And the reason why I say that is because you can actually multiply 6 times 5 to get 30 and multiply 10 times 3 to get 30. Okay, and let's go ahead and do that. So we can turn this 6 into 30 by multiplying by 5. Turn the 10 into 30 by multiplying by 3. Okay, and so now we have a common denominator of 30. So let's continue working with the numerators. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 times 5 is 5. So here this is equal to 14 over 30. But wait a minute, we are not finished yet. We have a numerator that's an even number, and the denominator is even. So we can actually go ahead and divide by 2. Divide by 2 in the numerator and in the denominator. So when you do that, you get a result of 14 divided by 2, which is 7, over 30 divided by 2, which is 15. So meaning that your final answer is 7 7/15. So let's go over the final problem here. So let's rewrite it. We have 3 5/8 plus 5 4/5. Again, adding the whole numbers together and setting them off to the side. That's what we're doing. 3 plus 5 is 8. And then let's go ahead and set up our fractions. So we have 5/8 plus 4/5. So if you take a look at the denominators, they are not the same. We have to make them the same or like denominators. So we can actually multiply 8 times 5, which gives us 40, and turn this 5 into 40 by multiplying by 8. Turn the 8 into 40 by multiplying it by 5. So we have a common denominator of 40. Now let's evaluate the numerators. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 4 times 8 is 32. And so we have, let's see, 25 plus 32 is equal to 57, and that's over 40. So now notice the fraction here. We have a large number in the numerator compared to the denominator. So in this case, we must divide 57 divided by 40, because we have to simplify as much as possible, and it needs to be a proper fraction, not an improper fraction or a mixed number. And a mixed number contains a proper fraction and its whole number. So 40 goes into 57 without going over once. It cannot be 2, because 2 times 40 is 80, and 80 is over 57. So we have to subtract 40 from 57. and that gives us 17. But notice we have a whole number right here. So we have to actually add this whole number to the 8. And that gives us 9 and 17 over 40, which is our final answer. So that's all that we have for this lesson. I hope it was helpful to you, and I look forward to working with you in the next lesson. Take care.